Hi, I'm Nancy Blotner. At Caldwell University, we believe that all citizens should be informed about the important issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Cohn Resnick, Accounting, Tax, and Advisory, where forward thinking creates results. The Fidelco Group. ADP, a comprehensive provider of human resources technology and services. Meridian Health. QualCare Inc., a managed care company administering health plans that care about your health care. Caldwell University. And by the North Ward Center. Promotional support provided by The Record, North Jersey's trusted source, and NorthJersey.com. And by bestofnj.com, covering all New Jersey has to offer.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
We're here at the 24th Annual Cohn Resnick Foundation golf event, the Cohn Resnick Cares event. We're honored to be here with Joe Torre, who is the co-founder of the Joe Torre Safe at Home Foundation. You may recognize him. How many years did you do the Yankees thing?
The Yankees thing?
Yeah, you were the boss.
I was the boss there for 12 years.
You loved that gig?
You know, I did, Steve, most of the time. I mean, the last 2 or 3 years were a little trying because I think it got to the point where the Yankees didn't know how to say goodbye, and neither did I. You know, it became, I remember Don Mattingly walked in my office. He was one of my coaches. And we won a game, and I wasn't happy, you know, and he just noticed a great deal of stress on my face, and it just got to the point where they really wanted me to leave, and they were finding ways to criticize what I was doing, and it got me a little defensive, and it just wasn't comfortable.
One thing you've become very comfortable talking about, well, at least from my perspective, we've been at this event. Joe's been so incredibly supportive of this event. He's talking about the victims of domestic violence and the Joe Torre Safe at Home Foundation. I shouldn't say you're comfortable talking about it, but you've made such a difference in talking about it. Could you talk about how that came about and why you started this foundation, co-founded it, and the difference it's made, and also the event?
Well, I mean, it's a long story, but let me see if I can give you a little bit of
It's a powerful story.
Sure, yeah, it is a powerful story. I mean, first of all, I grew up being very nervous about going to school, played hooky a lot, afraid I wouldn't know the work, afraid to raise my hand, and all those feelings of insecurity. In fact, in high school, I didn't even go out for as a freshman, didn't even go out for the baseball team because I didn't know if I could make it. And I thought growing up and really all the way through my playing career, which people I know find hard to believe, is I had all these feelings of insecurity. And it really wasn't until the middle 90s, right before I came to work for the Yankees, that I had gone to a symposium with my wife, who was pregnant with our daughter, Allie. I mean, our daughter, Andrea, but my wife, Allie. Went to this symposium, a 4-day symposium. She was like about 3 weeks shy of giving birth. And you know, we went to this symposium. I had no idea what it was like, well, what it was about, but she asked if I'd go with her. And, you know, at that point in her pregnancy, I wasn't about to say no to anything. And I found myself, and I realized it was like a self-help. It's called Life Success. It's still in existence. And you're trying to pretty much deal with whatever is troubling in your life. And I went in completely naive. They split us up. We went in separate groups, not in my wife's group. And I found myself after day 2 or 3 standing in front of perfect strangers crying my eyes out, it just struck a nerve, because what I found out when they were talking about abuse and stuff, and what young, you know, as a youngster, what things have an effect on you going forward. And after that particular day, I went back, because I'm the youngest of 5 children, and I called my older siblings, my 2 sisters, and asked about, did Dad do this and Dad do that? Now, I knew that my dad created fear in the house. I knew that. I knew that he was abusive to my mom. I never saw him hit her. He was a New York City policeman. I did see him go for his revolver in the drawer and threatening her. I did hear him throw dishes against the wall, saying, you know, he didn't like what she put on the table for him to eat. And I saw some remnants of where he physically abused her. I did come to find out that when he found out she was pregnant with me, after having lost a child before I came into the picture, that he threw her down the steps because he didn't want her to be pregnant anymore or get pregnant anymore. So once I went through this symposium, was it powerful? Was it emotional? Sure. But it also, Steve, freed me up to realize that now I wasn't born with these things. They were created by what was going on.
The insecurities.
Yeah, all the insecurities and the fear, and everything that was going on as a child growing up. And it sort of, even though it still exists, you know, you still have certain, you know, hesitancies, but at least you know now that what went on as a child is what affected you. So I wanted to talk about it. So when, you know, we went to New York, my wife and I, when she asked me what charity you want to get involved with, and I said, how about domestic violence? It sort of caught her off guard, because she's one of 16 kids, so a very happy family,
sure.
Mother and father. And so we, and it was her idea, and my older daughter, Christina, who come up with the idea, let's do it through education. Instead of being a care provider, which we still lead people to those websites, we have safe rooms in schools, named after my mom, Margaret's Place.
That's right.
Where kids go into the classroom and have a master's level counselor, and if they want to talk about it, they can talk about it. They have their, you know, other kids in there, where I thought I was alone and was my fault growing up. You know, these kids are realizing that they're not the only ones going through this.
This event, you know, the Cohen-Resnick folks, the dollars raised in this golf outing, a significant chunk goes to the Safe at Home Foundation, Special Operations, the Warrior Foundation folks. They get a big check as well, and extraordinary story with those folks as well. The children of these great soldiers, these brave soldiers who have lost their lives, they wind up going to college with a lot of these funds. What would you say to those who want to be supportive of the Safe at Home Foundation? What do you say to those folks? Well,
you know, what I would say to the folks is these children belong to all of us. You know, just because
the victims.
The victims, right? And again, children. I was never physically abused, but I was affected.
Clearly.
We need to take care of our youngsters, and we need to let them know that there's something out there for them. Because unless we give them a good education on going forward, they're going to follow whoever the strongest personality is, and it may lead them more times than not in the wrong direction. So it's our responsibility to take care of these youngsters. I'm a believer that we don't have bad kids out there. I think they do bad things. But I think they have to realize that kids their brains don't fully develop, especially boys, until they're like 25 years old. So we need to stay with them.
Joe is greeting a whole bunch of people inside who have come not just for the outing and not just to raise money, but also to meet Joe. So I have a couple more minutes with him. I want to be sensitive to that. For those folks who follow not just baseball, but marketing and branding, they know that Joe is also the representative, the official spokesperson on many levels for Cohen Resnick. Let me ask you this. What would you say about this firm?
Well, I was thinking about that on the trip here, and we've been together like 9 years. And
That's a long time.
It's a long time. I go into my office and I get on Metro North. You know, and sometimes I sit there looking at myself on the poster on the wall. And
I see you going to Lincoln Tunnel. I see you.
Yeah, and I watch people go like this. You know, and
That's Joe Torre.
And I'm gone. I know I've got it. But the thing I've noticed about Cohen Resnick, you know, they've been a quality firm for a long, long time, but it doesn't keep them from wanting to do more and get better and expand. And they're first class. I mean, that when we decided, you know, to work with, you know, Cohen Resnick. It was based on what the research we did, and it's a high-class operation, and
the charity
work that they do. They're very responsible, Steve, for for who they are and what they represent.
Last question, Joe. I would be remiss if I did not ask you. Joe's book on leadership influenced me greatly. It was a bestseller. I want to ask you this. Greatest leadership lesson you have learned over the years in life, not just in baseball, is?
Well, trust. Trust. You know, as you manage, and I managed for almost 30 years, you realize that you know, you can employ all the strategy you want, but the players that you're asking to go out there and commit to what you're trying to do and what you're trying to teach is the fact that they have blood running through their veins. And we need to have understanding of each and every one of them. You can't treat them all the same. My goal is you have to treat them all fairly.
Not equally.
Because they're different personalities. So you have to know who you have to sort of boot in the rear end and who you have to pat on the back. And it's important that you know your people, so when that time comes, when the pressure's, you know, sort of bearing down on you, that you have to have pretty good indication of who that person is. I mean, David Cohn was a good example. I went out to the mound, talked to him, and I say, you know, I thought he was tired. He says, I can get this guy. Well, you know what? He may not have had the wherewithal to get this guy, but knowing David Cohn, he was going to find a way to do it. And that's knowing your personnel.
Yeah. Joe, thank you for this interview, and as a Yankee fan, thank you for all the great memories, and thank you for everything you do for, more importantly, for all the young people and the women who are looking for a safe place. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Steve Adubato. I want to introduce you to, for the first time here in One-on-One,
Yes.
Jennifer Papa, who is the founder and executive director of City Green, an organization dedicated to
Urban farming and community gardening.
Where?
Here in northern New Jersey, we started all of our work in Paterson. And so we work with community organizations, schools, faith-based groups, and we grow food on blighted urban areas and create access to healthy food and access to natural green spaces.
Why is that so important in urban areas, Jennifer?
It's the answer to that, I think, is twofold. There's not a lot of access to healthy, fresh, local food in some of these urban cities in New Jersey. So low-income families, you know, are shopping at bodegas or have to take a lot of buses to get to a supermarket, you know, where they can get fresh produce. And so here we are growing it right in their city and then selling it at markets right in their neighborhood. We also accept federal food benefits.
What does that mean?
That means like SNAP or WIC, or, you know, people can use their EBT card at our farm stand.
Hold on, a lot of acronyms there.
Okay.
WIC is women,
Food
infants, and
children.
Mm-hmm. SNAP is
Supplemental Nutrition
something.
Assistance Program.
And so it means that the federal government, programs that are subsidized by the federal government directly support your efforts.
Yes.
So people can benefit from those. But here's the other piece of this whole equation, which is interesting. we met your organization through the Berry Foundation, the Russ Angelica Berry Foundation. You won the Russ Berry Award for Making a Difference. Explain what the award is and why it means so much to your organization.
The Russ Berry Foundation Award is for unsung heroes, I guess, for people who are working really hard in fields, trying to make a difference in communities that they work in, that don't necessarily get a lot of attention.
That's right.
And so for us, it brings a lot of great attention to our organization. We spend a lot of time, we have a very small staff that works very hard, and so we spend a lot of time focusing on our programming and serving the communities that we work in. So to bring that kind of attention to our organization is really wonderful.
You know, it's interesting, the other thing that we're doing to partner with the Berry Foundation is doing a series of leadership and communication workshops with not-for-profit leaders, like your organization, like yourself. And it's interesting because a lot of people think, oh, nonprofits, those are people who are involved in charity work. And we help folks improve their communication, leadership skills, the way they present themselves in public. From your own perspective, why is that so important for an organization like yours?
It's super important because that is telling our stories and sharing the stories of the people that we impact and the work that we do is probably the best way to gain support for our work and for getting people to understand, you know, the issues that we're working on. And so, you know, being able to get some professional coaching in how to tell those stories and how to share that passion that we all feel when we're working in the field, you know, it's priceless, really.
Explain to folks in that context, Jennifer, where your money comes from, because that is why telling the story is so critical.
Our money comes from foundations and from individual donations and from some government grants, like the county grants. Passaic County is a good supporter. You know, Henry Maryland Taub Foundation, Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation. These are organizations that we write grants to and then, you know, help fund our work.
It's interesting. A not-for-profit often has to run itself, I hate when people say this, like a business. What does that mean?
Well, it means that besides just focusing on the needs in the community that we're trying to address, we also have to make the payroll or, you know, deal with human resources and pay rent and things like that. So
no one's throwing money at you because you're doing good things. No one says, oh, you're really nice people, here's a bunch of money for, just because we like you. It doesn't happen that way.
It doesn't happen that way, no. Although individuals sometimes happen that way. You know, individual donors, you know, they get involved, they volunteer, they see firsthand the impact of your work, and sometimes they'll, you know, be inspired to donate to the organization that way.
Talk about making a difference. Dirt to Table, that Dirt to Table initiative, what is it? Why is it so important?
So basically we're gardening with children, we're getting their hands in the dirt, and then we're teaching them where their food comes from.
Why is that important?
Well, because if you don't have any connection to your food, you don't understand why it's healthy for you. You know, you ask a kid, like, what did they eat for breakfast and where it came from, and they think it came out of a box and came from a supermarket, and they don't really know the whole story. And so to really understand and make healthy choices and understand the environmental impacts and things like that as they grow up, it's really important for kids to have that experience.
Where does your passion come from for this cause?
I think it comes from a deep belief in the power of beauty to change a community. I think people are inspired when they see beautiful things. I think that nature is inspiring. And I think that it comes from a real belief in food justice.
Food justice?
Meaning that everybody should have access to healthy food, and it shouldn't be, you know, a right of privileged people to be able to shop at a farmer's market and know their farmer and taste local healthy food, you know, that's organically grown, that's picked right when it's ripe. You know, it shouldn't be that only low-income families have to deal with processed food, old food. You know, we talk to people who say in the bodegas they shop in that the meat is green and the veggies are brown. You know what I mean? Like, they're not.
And some of us take for granted that that would never happen.
A lot of communities take that for granted, yeah.
And you say?
And I say that everybody should have that opportunity.
And the greatest impact you feel you're having today is?
I think that the greatest impact is, I guess, getting community members to realize that there are other options and to help be a part of the change themselves. So,
how does that feel?
It feels really great.
But still a long way to go.
A long way to go. It's hard work. It's challenging work. There's a lot of obstacles. You know, it's hard to work in some of these city neighborhoods. It's hard to navigate the political system sometimes.
politics in New Jersey and the United States of America? How dare you
Easy,
imply
right?
that? But that's another reason why the leadership equation is so important, and being able to communicate your message.
Yeah, I mean, the
so
cities we
important.
work in are super supportive, but you know, we're coming at it from one perspective, and they're coming at it from another, and they support our work, but sometimes there's, you know, a lot of obstacles in the way.
That's why I have to keep fighting a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Papa is the founder, which is even being the executive director is one thing, but being the founder.
Then your heart and soul is in it.
You're all in, aren't you?
I'm all in.
Of
Yeah.
City Green. Keep up the good work. That's why the Raspberry folks recognizing you, the foundation,
Thank you very
was
much.
the right choice. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for having me.
See you soon. Stay with us. We'll be right back on One-on-One right after this. Thank you.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubato, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are pleased to welcome Sydney Davis, who is Executive Director, Girls on the Run of New Jersey East. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you.
Those who do not know what Girls on the Run is, tell them.
Girls on the Run is a self-esteem meets fitness training program for girls in 3rd through 8th grade. So we get together and we have a lot of fun. We let them be themselves. And at the end of these 10 weeks where they're exploring who they are, we run a 5K together. And they get the idea that, wow, I can do something maybe I didn't know I could do.
How did it start?
It's powerful. It started in 1996 with Molly Barker in North Carolina, who had a vision where every girl could reach and find her limitless potential and create a world where girls are feeling empowered and strong. And Molly started this program that long ago. And in New Jersey, our chapter started 15 years ago.
You got involved.
I got involved.
Because?
Because I had 2 young daughters myself at that time, and I had been working in prevention and domestic violence for several years, and I wanted to be on the other end of things where we're doing something about raising the self-esteem in girls. I had a 2-year-old and a newborn daughter, and I saw this article and I said, this is everything I love to do. And then when I was a kid, I was the girl maybe not making the teams, and I thought I couldn't be an athlete.
That was you?
That was me, a long time ago.
You remember it?
And I do remember it, because if I didn't make the team, I thought I could not be athletic. And a lot has changed, luckily, for girls today, but I thought it would be really important to at least have a place my daughters could go and understand that being an athlete is a choice you make in your head and in your heart, and the rest is just working out the details and making a commitment.
Who were the girls? How old are they again?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you recruit them?
Yeah, so there's 2 different programs. There's one curriculum for girls in grades 3 through 5 called Girls on the Run. And the program for 6th through 8th graders is the same themes, but a little more sophisticated for middle school girls called Heart and Soul, S-O-L-E, get it? Heart and Soul.
Yeah.
And they both meet for 10 weeks. We meet twice a week. And the lessons explore who am I, how to be a part of a team, giving back to the community is a big central theme in the last part of the program. And we get the girls to schools. We partner with schools, we partner with community organizations, and anyone can sign up who's in 3rd through 5th grade or 6th through 8th grade. We never want the fee to be a problem, so we have a big mission right now called Every Girl Can Run.
Every Girl Can Run.
And we're serving girls all over New Jersey, and we'll serve over 2,000 girls in Morris, Essex, Union, Burlington, and Mercer counties this year.
So you talk to me about body image. How soon are girls aware of not just their own body image, but how others see them in the context of their own bodies? All
Yeah.
I'm saying is obviously for selfish reasons. With our own little girl, I'm just very aware of how aware she is, and I'm struck by it.
Yeah. We live in a culture that is very fixated on body image right now. And so growing up as a girl, they become, I would say, as young as your daughter's 5, as young as 5, they're starting to just notice how they look and compare themselves to others and compare themselves to girls they see on TV or girls they see in ads, and they start to kind of want to measure up in some way. And the beautiful thing about Girls on the Run is it taps into who they are and gives them the sense that through athletics, they can do something that makes them feel strong, that makes them feel good about themselves. And then when they tap into that, in that context, it's a larger context for how they can tap into life and see themselves in the world.
Tie that to the whole concept and the problem of bullying, cyberbullying, and the way we want our kids to treat other kids. Is it part of what you do?
It is a big part of what we do. We actually have lessons that are focused on bullying, and we give girls strategies to respond to bullying, both when they see other kids being bullied or they're being bullied themselves. So we use phrases like, I feel, when you, because, I need you to. And it's really assertiveness training for girls that are out there having fun, learning these games and these skills, and then they can go into the classroom and try to apply the same things that they've been learning on the field at Girls on the Run.
What's it done for you, watching these girls?
It's transformative for anybody that comes in contact with our program to see girls in collaboration with each other, encouraging each other, cheering on each other as a part of a team, really, and having these coaches. We couldn't do it.
Sorry for interrupting. They're not competing against each other.
They're not competing with each other. It's do your best.
They're not gold medals.
Just keep moving. No.
It's not about gold medals.
Not about gold medals. Not about competition. Just try your best. And we encourage them, just keep moving. And they all cross this finish line.
All of them.
All of them. And they have a sense of, wow, they feel like a rock star. I mean, you know, I don't know about any finish lines that you've crossed. I didn't run a 5K until well into my 20s. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a really big deal. So when you see these girls and you go to our event, you go to our 5K.
See some big smiles there.
And you see them a part of something that's bigger than themselves and accomplishing something that they weren't so sure they had the confidence to do, it's life-changing, truly. And so to be a part of it for me, I feel like I have the greatest job on the planet to motivate and inspire and empower girls. And I work with the greatest team on the planet because we're filled with volunteer coaches who go out on the fields every day.
And you have to raise money, too.
And we have to raise money. So sponsors, coaches, we couldn't do it without everyone. It's really a village.
Sydney Davis, Executive Director. Oh, what is this again? Real quick, what is this?
So,
real quick, a few seconds left.
At the 5K, we would love for you to come and be a running buddy and wear the Girls on the Run cape.
I'm going to wear this cape. Got this, guys? See this? It says, Girls on the Run. Did I wear this cape?
Yeah, you do.
You serious?
Girls on the Run
do this?
is so much fun.
I'm in. I'm all in.
Yeah, okay.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Cone Resnick, the Fidelco Group, ADP, Meridian Health, Qualcare Inc., Caldwell University, and by the North Ward Center. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.